expectation is huge with the subconscious. Okay, so let's start to explain. The subconscious, right, is like your data system. Okay, it's like your data storage. Okay, so everything that you've ever learned in your life goes into your subconscious. Okay, and everything that you've ever experienced, okay, all those memories, all those things go into your subconscious. Everything you have ever been exposed to goes into your subconscious. And what does it do? Well, it gets stored. Okay, it starts forming your core beliefs when you're very young, and then when you're older, it it gives you your systematic systems of habit. Okay, the things that you do, your actions, all of that. Okay, let's look at the subconscious tree. Hey, good morning, you guys. Good morning. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Costas. Good morning, lady. So let's look at the subconscious tree. Okay, the roots of the tree, okay, are your subconscious core beliefs. Okay, the trunk of the tree, the body of the tree, is your paradigm. This is your worldview. This is how you see the world based upon what you believe. Okay, now your worldview is going to dictate how you act in the world. Okay, and those actions are the fruits of the tree up here. Okay, they're the fruits. So based upon what you believe, you get your worldview, the way you see the world, the way you see things, and the way you see things dictates the way you act. And these are the fruits up here. And those actions turn into results. Okay? Those actions turn into results. The results are from the actions that are from the way you see the world, that are rooted in your beliefs or your subconscious beliefs. Okay, your core beliefs. So now, the power of expectation happens, right? When you expect something good. You ever see these guys, right? When they do something or they get a result. Okay, so they do something and then something turns out and they go, I knew it wasn't going to be like that. I knew this wasn't going to work out. Okay, that's the key. They knew. Okay, they knew it wasn't going to work out. Okay, but then do you see a lot of people going, you know, something good is just about to happen, right? You don't see too many of those people, right? And when things turn out good, you don't see too many people going, I knew that would happen, right? They're kind of shocked. They're kind of surprised. They go, wow, that happened. That's cool. You know, that kind of thing. Okay. So I'm here to tell you that the power of expectation is a thing. Okay. It's a thing. So, you know, I constantly walk around, you know, saying like, okay, something good is just about to happen, right? And I try to live as much as I can in expectation. Now, we live in the real world, right? So that's not always going to be the case. That's not always going to happen. But it's good to try to condition your mind like that, especially your subconscious, okay? Because when your subconscious believes something, like when it believes that something good is, you know, just about to happen, what happens? It starts to play into your paradigm. It starts to construct your paradigm. Okay, your paradigm's constructed off of what you believe. Okay, so the power of expectation, right? So the subconscious is kind of like an operating system of a computer. It's like the hard drive where your programs are stored. Okay, it runs in the background. Okay, you don't see it, you don't feel it. It just runs in the background. Okay, and it manages all your automatic behaviors, habits, beliefs. Okay, all of that is stored in your subconscious. Now, when a person expects something, or you know, whether it's good or bad, the subconscious doesn't judge. Okay, it doesn't judge. But when that happens, okay, when you expect something, you're essentially issuing a command to your subconscious to look for the good part. Okay, well, if you're expecting good. Now, if you're expecting bad, same thing. This is not about morals. This is not about values. This is not about judgment. This is just saying, if you do good stuff, you're going to get good. If you do bad stuff, you're going to get bad. Okay, you do what you want. I'm not here to tell you how to believe or what to believe. I'm not here to, this is not a believe thing. This is your subconscious, okay? So if you choose to do something good, you're gonna get good results. You do something bad, you're gonna get bad results. But just know when you get a bad result, it's because you did something bad. No such thing as doing something good and getting a bad result. That doesn't exist, okay? So when you get a bad result, what do? You go back and you go, why did this happen? Why did this result happen? What was the cause for this? I thought like this, or I was thinking like this, and then that happened. You see? It works like that. This is not about moral judgments or anything like that, okay? When I give you biblical quotes, and I have one that I'm going to give you in a minute, okay? It's just because I studied that. It's not because I'm trying to do church or anything like that. I don't like organized religion. I think organized religion is good for people who need organized religion. But yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But I'm going to talk about this first. When you expect good, you get good. When you expect bad, you get bad. Now, remember I told you worry is like praying for something bad to happen. Thank you, lady. Thank you. Remember I told you that? Okay. So when you're worried about something, what are you doing? You're expecting the worst, right? Because worry is like that. You're worried that you're going to get a bad result. Okay. So if you're worried that you're going to get a bad result, what are you doing? You're doing expectation, but you're doing expectation in the negative. Okay, so now, right? Now you're expecting wrong, or you're expecting worst case scenario. And what happens? You start to pull it into your existence. Okay, let's take a look at how it happens. How does it happen? Does it happen by magic like that? No, it doesn't. You know, when you believe something, okay, I'm going to say it again. When you believe something, your subconscious proves it to you. Okay? I told you guys the story about when I, at 40 years old, when I thought I was clumsy, and it came from when I was 12 years old, and my mom planted that idea in my head. And it stayed there till I was 40, till I disproved it. Okay, so you can change things in the subconscious, but you need to disprove it. And you need to put the new data in there. You need to reprogram your subconscious. Well, let's say, for example, hypothetically, okay, you think you're clumsy. If you put that belief into your subconscious, okay, a belief is a thought you keep thinking this thought, you keep thinking this thought, you keep thinking this, pretty soon you believe it, right? Okay, now it's in your subconscious, right? What does your subconscious do? Your subconscious will start to pull evidence of it, okay? Your subconscious will go, hey, remember when you were 19 and you dropped this thing and you broke your, right? The thing, okay? You're clumsy. You remember last week when you accidentally knocked over the vase and it broke on the living room floor? Remember that? You're clumsy. Hey, remember 6 years ago when you were trying to, unlock the door and, whatever, that happened, and you were on a date and you were embarrassed because, you see, you were clumsy. Okay? So your subconscious does that. Why? Because your subconscious remembers everything you do. This is why you can go to a hypnotist and they can hypnotize you. And they can draw information out of your subconscious. Okay? Because it's subconscious. It's under the surface. It's operating in the background. It's subconscious. Okay, but this is why it can happen. It just stores all your memory. The book of life is your subconscious. Okay, because everything is recorded in the book of life, right? Your subconscious is a culmination of all of your senses. Everything you see, everything you hear, everything you taste, everything you touch, everything you smell, all of that. Okay? So this is how the subconscious acts. This is the job of the subconscious. You believe you're clumsy, it'll start pulling data. You remember 10 years ago when you did this, or when you fell down because you weren't watching where you're going? You see, you're clumsy. See, it'll back it up. It'll give you evidence. Okay, now, the power of expectation, which we're talking about this morning, is when you're expecting good stuff. If you're worried, you're expecting bad stuff. And I know people that worry all the time, and they expect the very worst. And you know what? Bad things happen. Bad things happen when you do that. Expectation, okay, most people expect good stuff, okay? But like I said, this is not a value judgment or anything, so you can expect bad stuff, and that too will happen, okay? But when you do this, okay, just know that expectations are not fleeting thoughts, okay? These are feelings backed by belief, because you believe this stuff. When you expect something good, it's because you believe it's going to happen, okay? Without even saying it out loud or anything like that, your subconscious aligns with the narrative, whatever narrative it is, whatever the topic is, whatever the subject is, okay, whatever it's concerning. Okay, and now, right, it's going to pull in those things, those positive things. Why? Because you have a reticular activating system in your brain stem. It filters out the stuff you're not focused on. Okay, we haven't talked about this in a while, but I usually bring it up so that people are aware. Okay, so you know, like when you're interested in a car, let's say it's a red Corvette convertible, okay, and you see it online, you go, wow, that's really a cool car, and you're all into it, right? Okay, these are your distractors. Okay, they distract you into a different reality. And if that's a little deep for you to understand, we'll explain that some other time, okay? But that's what happens. Now, your focus, okay, is on the red Corvette convertible. The reticular activating system in your brainstem starts to filter out the other cars. Why? Because you're focused on the convertible. Now what happens? Now you see a lot of red Corvette convertibles and you say to yourself, I didn't know there was this many red Corvette convertibles in town, and I'm seeing a lot of them, okay? They were always there. It's just that your reticular activating system is filtering out the stuff that you're not focused on. So now it's showing you what you're focused on. Now this is very handy in manifestation, because when you're focused on something, it keeps giving you more of that. So if your expectation is in the positive, right, and you're expecting positive stuff, what does your reticular activating system do, you think? What do you think? Yeah, it's going to show you good stuff. It's going to show you the good side of things, okay? It's going to filter out the stuff you're not focused on, okay? Yin and yang, right? Positive, negative, good and bad, dark and light, okay? It's going to focus on the good stuff. Why? Because you're expecting good stuff. That's where the focus is, okay? It's good stuff. And that's what happens. So you're going to notice all the good things, okay? Eventually, what's going to happen? Something good, okay? And that's really how it works, okay? And how does this thing show up in real life? Positive expectation, okay? It's not because you force yourself to do something. It's because your focus is on the good stuff, okay? Whatever you focus on intensifies. Everything is energy. Okay, your energy in here, what do you call that? You want to call that a spirit? You want to call that a soul? What do you want to call that? That's who you are. You're not your body. You're not your name. I'll say it 1,000,000 times. Okay? But you need to come from that. You need to come from energy. When you come from energy, everything's easier to understand. Life is much easier to understand. Good morning. Wolf Dog. Hey, Wolf to Wolf Dog. Long time no see. Haven't seen you in a while. Good morning. Welcome back. All right, I remember you guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm busy being the splainer, but yeah, don't worry. I see you guys. Thank you. Thank you, lady. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Hi, Gia. Good morning. All right. So, the power of expectation, right? So expect good stuff. Okay? Now, I try as much as possible, like when I see my clients during the day, okay, I have different kinds of clients. I have voice clients where I train their voices for singing, okay, and then I have life coaching clients where I use their voice to calm them here. Okay, my singers become phenomenal people because not only do they have good singing voices, they have clear minds. They have a lot of clarity, okay? When they take the training, it provides clarity. They just don't get the other 3 pillars. What are the 3 pillars? I'm glad you asked. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. Those 4 pillars. Okay, you can put my name in any browser, and you can put teaching method after my name in any browser, and it will show you my teaching method. Okay, you can put in any browser, any AI. Just put my name and put teaching method right after that. It will show you my teaching method. Okay, I've been doing this for 37 years. The life coaching part since 2010, but working with the human voice and seeing the amazing things that it does, okay, for 37 years. And it's been quite a journey because I've seen people, okay, the miracles. I had to write a book about it. This is my book, and I had to write a book about this. And the reason why, okay, is because I saw these miracles. I saw these small little miracles happen in my office, okay, and it was amazing. Okay, I saw people transformed by their voice. They were transformed. They changed. Their personality changed, right? They became more assertive. Okay, they became more outgoing. Okay, the people who suffered trauma. Okay, I had a lot of military people with PTSD. A lot of people went to war and they came back, especially during the time of the Persian Gulf. I was teaching during all that time. I started teaching when I was very young. Okay, but when people would come back from war, okay, war is a terrible thing. War is a terrible, terrible thing. If you want the hard copy, you can get it on Amazon. If you want a free copy of this, just send me your information, okay? You can message me, DM me. However, we're on 7 different platforms this morning, so you guys can do it however. But yeah, you get it free. I'll give you a PDF copy. Just send me your email, and I'll send it. Just say, send me the book, and then your email, and yeah, I'll send it to you. Okay, so I used to see military personnel that come back from war, okay? And when they come back from war, they are frazzled, okay? PTSD, frazzled. They get in, like, they go into like a shopping center full of people and they start getting panic attacks. They start getting uptight. And I start working with their voice, and what happens is they start to calm. Now, it doesn't make the PTSD go away, okay? What it does is it makes it manageable. It brings it down to a manageable level. And a lot of my military people tell me, wow, like I used to have drugs to do this, and now I can do this on my own. And I'm like, yeah, you can control yourself. If you can control your voice, you can control yourself. Okay, but it goes deeper than that with the voice. Okay, let's talk about that for a second before we talk about the biblical verse that I'm going to bring up. Okay, so, and the reason why I want to talk about this is because not too many people are aware of it, that your voice can heal you. Okay, but what happens is we do these exercises, we do straight tones. Okay, in the spiritual community, it's called toning, and it's different. They do it different than I do. We project solid tones, up, like that, or like real solid. Okay, I don't want to damage your hearing or anything, but really solid tones like that. Okay, and I guide people on my guitar. Okay, let me show you. Okay, because I have my guitar. Let me show you. So it's like this, right? We start with this one. Okay, and we hold it. I'm not gonna bore you and do the whole thing, okay? But we hold it the length of your breath. Okay, and then we go here, half steps. And we hold it the length of your breath. Okay, and then here. And what happens is we work on a set of muscles called the pharyngeals. These muscles. Okay, when you squeeze, those muscles. Okay, so what happens is, I'll just tell you the rest without the guitar. But what happens is when these muscles are conditioned, you start holding your notes longer. When you start holding your notes longer, okay, at the high range, when it gets kind of medium high to high, what happens is the pressure involved releases oxytocin and endorphins through your neurotransmitters in your brain. What happens then? Well, oxytocin is the bonding hormone. Okay, endorphins are the feel-good hormone, and they flood your brain. So when everybody's done with the exercise at the very top, right? And I do this for both the singing school and the life coaching, because it works for everybody. It works for every human being. In fact, that's the reason why we started doing the life coaching, was because we felt that, people who don't sing or not interested in singing or, scared to death of singing didn't have to sing to get this development, to get this clarity, okay, in their head. So what happens? Well, anxiety goes away, overthinking goes away, right? Confidence starts to build, because why? Because confidence is just the absence of all the negative stuff. When you take away all the negative stuff, all the negative emotions are rooted in fear. Take away fear, confidence emerges. Okay? Fear cannot live where confidence is. And if you take fear away, you're only left with confidence. Okay, so overthinking, anxiety, all that stuff, right? And so these people become confident. Once you become confident, okay, once there's nothing holding you back, because we say when people come to me, right, they're like this, even life coaching people, they're like this, okay, introverted, okay, keeping to themselves, reserved, okay, sometimes this is the best place to hide. Okay, people hide in here all the time. So many people hide in here. Okay, they don't bring themselves out. Your energy, your voice is yourself. It's a reflection of yourself. It's part of yourself. It's your energy. You're not your body. You're not your name. You're that energy that lives in here. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Now we work with that. Okay, so this is part of your life force. This is part of that energy, your spirit. This is why when people sing, they touch you. Okay, because they're touching your emotions. Why? Because the eyes are the mirrors of the soul. The voice is the mirror of the feelings and emotions. So not only can you touch someone by singing well or singing with feeling, okay? Feeling and energy is synonymous. So if you're a singer, just know that. If you want to put more feeling in your music, you want to put more energy in your music. That's what it's all about. Okay, and look at the high energy performers in our world that we adore and respect and love, right? Why? It's because they make us feel something. They connect with us. And how do they connect with us like that? Energy. Everything is energy. Okay? But everything resonates. Like attracts like. The law of attraction. Okay? Like attracts like. It's not just about getting stuff. It's about vibration. So if somebody's singing a song and they meet you vibrationally at your vibration, they will touch you. Okay? Then emotional things happen. You cry, you listen to the song, you feel good or you cry or whatever, you get emotional, you get that feeling. They touch you. So this is what the voice does. On the other end, on the back end of everything, okay, when the healing aspect of it, when you work with your voice, you can achieve confidence through your voice. Okay, let's say you have trouble sleeping because you have anxiety. You're up late at night thinking about stuff. You're up late at night scared about stuff. Okay, the good news is that when you work through when you work through your voice and you work with your voice, okay, everything starts to calm. And I'm not talking about like you got to do this for a year. I'm talking about you do this for on the third session, you already feel the difference. Now, the length of time that my students stay with me or the length of time that my clients stay with me, it's relative because I have clients that have been with me for 4 years already. I have maybe 3 or 4 clients that have been with me for 4 years. They're professionals. What I call high-powered professionals because they have huge responsibilities at work. But they're with me because they have allotted this budget. Okay? They've allotted this budget for their wellness, for their emotional wellness. And they become more emotionally intelligent. That's a new buzzword, emotionally intelligent. All that means is they have a handle on their emotions. They can handle their emotions. Okay? So what does that do? What benefit does that give them? Well, they don't fly off the handle. They don't get triggered as much. They're more centered. They're more composed. So if you want to read the reviews, go look for Here For You Life Coaching on Google. Here For You Life Coaching, put Hawaii, because I'm in Hawaii, and it's on Google, and you'll see the reviews for yourself. They're all 5-star reviews. Why? Because this process works on everybody. It's not like some people can do it and some people can't. Like everybody can do this. Okay? Every single person, every human being has a voice. Every human being can heal through their voice. Now, we're not talking about healing medically. We're talking about healing emotionally. We're talking about healing spiritually. That energy that lives in here, that's what we're talking about. Okay, we're not making medical claims. That's a totally different thing. Okay, now we're talking about God-made versus man-made. Okay, man made the medical system. Man made medicines. Okay, God made you. God made your voice. Okay, whatever you think that is. Okay, God, source, universe. Okay, infinite intelligence, whatever you think that is, whatever that is for you. Okay. People always ask me, well, do you believe in God, Uncle? Yeah, of course I believe in God. God is very real. But God is not what they tell you. God is expansive. God is in every living thing, even the mosquitoes, okay, even the small little buggies, okay? So the power of expectation works for you. Why? Because it keeps you focused on the good part. The yin and yang, right? Light versus dark, good versus evil, all that stuff, right? Good versus bad. Let's keep it mild like that, right? Good versus bad. It keeps you focused on the good stuff. Okay? Never mind the matrix, never mind all these complicated things that people use to complicate life and complicate the world. Life is not that complicated. There's good things, there's bad things, there's good stuff, there's bad stuff. You want to get rid of the bad stuff? Focus on the good stuff. It's really simple. Okay? You don't need a degree to understand that. You don't even need to graduate the 3rd grade to understand that. Okay? But when you expect good, you get good. And you expect good, right? You receive good. In the Bible, in Job, right? The book of Job, Job says, what I fear falls upon me. That's true. It's talking about your subconscious. Okay? And every time I talk to a Bible person, they go, oh no, but this happened and that happened and all these things happened and it was a test of faith and his belief in God and all. And I'm like, yeah, okay. The devil is in the details. You don't need the details. You need the big picture. What you fear falls upon you. That's subconscious. Okay. Now I'm going to take a look at this Bible verse, okay? Matthew 25:29, for you Bible people. For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. That's what the scripture says. What is it talking about? It's talking about your subconscious. Okay? But yeah, I know pastors that will give me other explanations. Okay? And that's the beauty of the Bible. The beauty of the Bible is that you can have 10 people read it, and 10 people will give you their own interpretations. And guess what? All 10 are right. Okay? Because it's talking about in here. Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're correct. You see? Either way. It doesn't matter. Like I said, this is not about moral judgment. This is not about, okay, this is right and this is wrong. No. This is good, this is bad. There you go. Because it's either good for you or it's bad for you. Okay? Right and wrong is a little different. You can be right about something and it not be ideal for you. And you can be wrong about something and it could serve you. So it's not always about right or wrong. Yeah, you want to do the right thing. Of course, nobody wants to do the wrong thing, whatever that is. But most of that is perception. Okay, what is wrong? What is right? Okay, we have laws, right? That's why we need laws. We need laws for guidelines to go, okay, here, this is doing the right thing here. Okay, this is wrong. This is against the law. That kind of thing. Okay, those are good guidelines. Laws are good guidelines. And sometimes laws are just put in place so that we have a better society. But this is not about right or wrong. This is about what you choose. And if you choose right, you'll get right. If you choose wrong, you'll get bad. Okay, good, bad. That's it. Now, some people get a little bit good, right? And then they get then something bad happens, and they, good, and then bad happens. What's going on in their minds? I can tell you exactly what's going on in their minds. They're thinking good a little of the time, and a little of the time, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me see, who do I thank? I'm scrolling back. Hang on, somebody just gave me something. Right here. Oh, Wolf to Wolf Dog. Thank you so much. Darlene, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Well, that's a moral thing, right? It depends. It depends what's right for you, Darlene. Yeah, you can break the law. Doesn't mean you should break the law. I get it. But then, I'm not talking about good and bad in the way of moral judgment. I'm talking about things that benefit you, like worry. Today we're talking about the power of expectation. Okay, so if you expect good stuff, you'll get good. If you expect bad stuff, you get bad. Okay, and yeah, just because you can do something doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Absolutely. Okay, it doesn't mean you should. And also, I might add that, what's right for somebody may not be right for somebody else. Okay, so there's that. There's also that. Okay, but what is Matthew 25:29 talking about in the Holy Bible? For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance, but from him that hath not shall be taken away, even that which he hath. What are they talking about? The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. How is that even fair? Okay, it's talking about mindset. It's talking about your subconscious. Because if you are operating out of an abundance mindset, okay, and I told you there's two ways to riches. Okay, the first way, you save up all your money like a squirrel saves nuts. Okay, you deny yourself, you live poor, but you store up all your money. Okay, one day you're worth something, right? The other way is when you put your faith in God, God brings to you what you want and what you need. Not always what you want. Sometimes you got to wait. You have to be patient. But God brings you what you need when you need it. I know people that have a problem with that way of believing, because they go, no, you have to save. You have to store up money. Oh, really? Try living on the edge. I slept on a street. I slept on a sidewalk when I was in my 20s. When I was 20 years old, I was sleeping on a sidewalk. God brought me everything. I never went hungry. I never died. I'm here. Okay. But I put my faith in God. I didn't put my faith in anything else. Okay. I don't go around preaching the gospel, right? I give you Bible quotes because it's there. So I'm saying that the reason why I'm giving you the quotes is to back up what I'm saying, and go read the quote for yourself. It's in the Bible. It's in all holy books. When you come from abundance, okay, in other words, when you think plenty, you receive plenty. Why? Because that's the vibe you're giving. When you're thinking abundance, you receive abundance. When you're thinking lack, you receive lack. Because when you're thinking lack, you're producing lack actions. You're acting lack. Okay? You cannot think lack and act abundantly, and vice versa. Okay? Thoughts become things. First you think it, then you do it. First you think it, then you become it. Okay, so when we do affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization, what are we doing? We're aiming at something with your subconscious. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. It's mindset. Now, to develop that mindset, you need to write affirmations. Let's get the affirmation pen. Here we go. This big one right here, okay? I am so happy and grateful now that I live in abundance. Thank you. There you go. All you have to do is get your subconscious to believe that. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. You have to keep thinking the thought. You write it, okay? The more you write it, the more you believe it. The more you speak it, the more you believe it. The more you think it, the more you believe it. So the formula is ask, right? What? Believe, receive. Ask, believe, receive. You cannot believe in your asking if you live in scarcity, if you live in lack. It's impossible. It's impossible to have an abundant mindset if you live in scarcity. So if you're thinking in scarcity and your expectation is abundance, you're going against each other. You're living in conflict, okay? Because over here, you're participating in scarcity. You're participating in lack. But over here, you desire abundance. So how do you achieve this from this? You expand this. You expand this. This has to be expansive. From scarcity, you need to grow it into abundance. It's a mindset. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. Okay? A human being becomes what they practice. This is not rocket science. This is human being. This is understanding how the human being is made. This is your subconscious. Okay? Your conscious mind commits, then your subconscious stores the program. If you want to look at it like a computer, your conscious mind is your operating system. Your subconscious is the hard drive where you store the programs. The superconscious is the network that we're all plugged into. It's called awareness. We all have awareness. Now, some of us have a greater degree of awareness. And we told you how that happens. Just for a visual, this is awareness when you're full of problems, when you're full of stress, when you're full of worry, okay, when you're full of drama. This is what awareness looks like. When you take away the drama, you take away the stress, take away the anxiety, you take away the overthinking, take away the fear, awareness looks like this. Okay? But as soon as you start adding stress, you start adding fear, you start adding, okay, all of that. Too much work, working hard, okay, working harder. Awareness becomes like this. It just gets minimized a little bit. It doesn't go away, okay? Everybody's aware, okay? But when you take away all the negativity, then this starts to flourish, starts to open. And this is what I do with people with the human voice. It opens people. In the very first session, it takes me 20 minutes to demonstrate this. 20 minutes to run through the exercise and show somebody, here, see? Look, you see how you're open? And they go, yeah, I did open. I did open a little bit. And then it increases the next week, the following week, the next week, the next week. It's progressive. And that's why I tell you, like, you know, I have a handful of clients that have been with me for 4 years. And they're all getting better every week. It's amazing. It's amazing that human potential is the way it is, but it is. It just is. As long as I've been alive, this is an example. As long as I've been alive, during the Summer Olympics, every 4 years, the human being is just a little bit faster. It might be 1/10 of a second, might be 1/16 of a second, might be 1 second, sometimes. But the human being is just a little bit faster. Now, how does that happen? I'm pretty old. I'm pretty up there. I've been on the planet for a long time. I've lived through a lot of Olympics, and they're always just a little bit faster. No steroids, no modifications. How does that happen? It happens because we don't know our full potential as human beings. We have no idea. And the human beings that are with me, that have been with me for 4 years, like I have a bunch of them. And every week they're here. Every week they pay me to come. Every week they get better and better. It's progressive. And when they get that, when they get the stress, when they get the overwork like this, we work with their voice and we take it off, and then the awareness goes like this again. This is not magic, it's not black magic, it's your subconscious. You're designed like this. It's just that not everybody wants to take the time, Instead of working on your subconscious, they'd be like, well, I could be fishing right now. I could be riding my motorbike right now. I could be surfing right now. I could be skiing, at the lodge right now. I could be doing all these things. So instead, we run. Okay? If you're not facing this one, okay, chances are you're running from this one. You'd rather not face this one. Why? Because you know the problem. You know the issues. You know that you should, but you know you don't. I'm here to give you the good news. Okay? You don't need to be afraid of it. You can face it. Okay? All you have to do is slow down a little bit. Okay? Slow down. Remember, there's God-made and there's man-made. Okay? Everything man-made is subjective. Everything man-made is relevant. So what? Man made it. Now, the things that are God-made, things that God made this, God made you, that's what's important. Put people first. I always tell people that. I had a life coaching intake that I did last week. And it's a very important client, so I do that one in person. And I do this client intake, right? And there's certain things that I say, and there's certain questions that I ask, and certain things I have to ascertain and figure out. Because everybody's different. Everybody's perception is different. Every human being is different. Everybody has their own unique gifts. Everybody's different. So I don't have a one-size-fits-all for people, right? I have to sit down and listen and say, okay, what's the issue? I can figure out issues like that. It's easy. But I told this lady, I said, don't worry, you're in a good place. I said, don't worry. I put people first, not money first. And I always tell you guys this. I've told you guys this for months and months and months. We've been doing this since April. April, May, June, July. Yeah, we've been doing this for 7 months. And for 7 months, I've been telling you, don't put money first. Put people first. If you don't have money to give your time. Okay? But give your time to people. You can't give your time to money. Okay? But people come first. Put people first. When you put people first, God gives you blessings. When you put people first, God brings good things into your life that you can't even explain. Because you go, oh, I don't know how that happened. Must be a coincidence, right? Must be a coincidence. There's the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. Okay? But all these three are states of awareness that live in here. All three of them. I have people that ask me, oh, uncle, this one girl asked me one time, she goes, oh, uncle, do you have any certifications? I'm like, yeah, I have a certification. It's called energy. It's called God. It's called knowing. I meditate a lot. See, when you meditate, okay, when you meditate, you start to understand the expansiveness of God. You start to understand what the Holy Spirit really is. You start to understand what the universe really is. And you understand the whole thing from in here. Jesus Christ said, the kingdom is within. No such thing as the kingdom without. The kingdom is within. All you have to do is go in here, close your distractors, okay? Like this, close your distractors, okay? Now you're in the kingdom. Stay like that. Stay like that for 10 minutes a day. This morning I did it for 30 minutes. Some mornings I do it for an hour. Some mornings I do it for 3 hours. I don't do it very often for 3 hours. I don't always have that kind of time. But an hour is normal for me. An hour and a half is normal for me. After an hour and a half, yeah, it's, once in a while. But you will only understand the difference between what's man-made and what's God-made, what God made. You'll only understand the difference in meditation. Because you have to be still. There's an old expression. It says, be still and know. And you can only know by being still. If you're not being still, you're being distracted. You're being distracted away from the kingdom. Your eyes look away from the kingdom. So Matthew 25:29 that we're talking about, right? How is it even fair, right? For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. Okay. Somebody has something, they have abundance. Okay, makes sense. But here's the second part. And he that but from him that hath not, okay, he doesn't have anything, shall be taken away even that which he had. Even the stuff he does have, it'll be taken away from him. Now, how is that fair? It's the way he's thinking or she's thinking. Because if you're in a lack mindset, even the stuff you have is going to go slowly. It's just going to dissipate. Why? Because of the way you think, because you think in lack, because your subconscious is focused on lack. Your subconscious learns lack, okay? Just know that. Your subconscious learns lack. It starts to be programmed into lack. And then it starts to repeat that, okay? And when it starts to repeat lack, okay, now you have the program. Now you're in the program. You don't have to learn how to drive the car every day, right? You get in the car, you just go. I get in my car, I just drive. And sometimes my subconscious is driving. Okay, sometimes my subconscious is the one driving the car. And you know this too, right? Monday through Friday, you drive to work, okay, same way. On Saturday, you want to go to the store. And then you catch yourself, right? Because for 5 minutes, you've been driving to work and you catch yourself, you go, oh, this is embarrassing. Lucky it's only me in the car. And then you correct your path, and now you go to the store. That's your subconscious driving the car. If you didn't have a subconscious, every time you took your mind off the road, every time you thought about something else, you'd get into an accident. But your subconscious drives the car. Your subconscious brushes your teeth. Your subconscious combs your hair. Your subconscious gets you dressed. Your subconscious does all these things. Your subconscious is the book of life. Everything you see, touch, hear, everything you do is all recorded in your subconscious. Okay, I just want to see if I have any more questions. Feel free to ask questions, you guys. Okay, I don't have any more questions, okay. I'm just looking at our feed over here. See, so the power of expectation works because you dictate what comes. Because you're focused on the good part, okay? So everything has a good and negative side to it. Positive, negative, good, bad, okay? When you're only focused on the positive, that's the only thing you get. If you're focused on the pros and cons, okay, like I'm a Libra, so that happens with me. I focus on both sides, right? Because on the pro side, right, I'm aware of the good stuff that can happen, and then on the bad side, on the con side, I can see how the bad things would happen, right? And Libra, we weigh everything, right? So we take a look at the good side and the bad side. When you can see both sides, now you open the door for fluctuation. That happens to me a lot. So the life path of a Libra is to achieve balance. It's not that we're balanced because we're Libras. That's a misconception. We need to learn to balance. That's why we're here. We need to learn to balance. But if you're focused on the positive, if you can intently focus on the positive, apply focus to the positive with expectation, expecting. Okay, when you live in the state of something good's just ready to happen, I know. Something good's just about to happen. I can feel it. Right? You see people like that? I know people like that. They get lucky. They get lucky. Yesterday we were talking about luck in the subconscious, right? When you expect only the good stuff, you start to receive only the good stuff. When you expect the bad stuff, when you're worried, that's why I said don't worry. Worry is like praying for something bad to happen. Worry is like being afraid of something so much it starts to consume you. That's the only thing you think about, right? The bad thing that could happen, and you start to worry. And guess what happens? If it's not that thing that happens, negative stuff starts to happen. Why? Because you're expecting bad. So remember that expectations are not just fleeting thoughts, they're feelings. What happens when you take feeling and intention? What happens? Manifestation. Okay? So we talk about it a lot in the positive sense, but it will happen in the negative sense too. This is not a moral judgment. This has nothing to do with morals. Okay? It has to do with what you choose. You want to do good stuff, you're going to get good stuff. You want to do bad stuff, you're going to get bad results. Good choices end up in good results. Bad choices end up in bad results. Okay, look at all the bad stuff in your life. Okay, look at all the bad stuff that exists in your life. That's the result of your choices. And all you have to do is take responsibility for that. All you have to do is go, okay, I made a bad decision. I made a bad move. Everybody does. I do every week. I make bad moves every week. I make a mistake. Okay? And what's important after that? It's only important that you correct it. That's all. Okay? Say you're sorry. Okay, this is Hawaiian ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. It's also a clearing. It clears the dry erase board. Okay, for those of you that are old enough, the chalkboard. Okay, it erases. You do something wrong, okay, say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Who are you saying it to? You're saying it to yourself and your higher power, whoever that is. If it's Jesus Christ, you're saying sorry to yourself and Jesus Christ. When you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, you're talking to yourself because you need to forgive yourself. Okay, you need to forgive yourself. If you're not forgiving yourself, you can't forgive anybody else. If you don't know how to forgive yourself, you cannot forgive anyone. Then what are you doing? You're being resentful. You're holding things against others. And you're holding things against yourself. Introverts have this problem all the time. I work with a lot of introverts on this very issue. Why? Because they avoid things. They avoid facing people. They avoid, you get, so the real quick, the scenario that I run by people is when you go to the store and you get shorted a couple cents, you're walking away from the register. If you're an introvert, you look back at the line and you go, nah, there's too many people. I don't want to make a scene, whatever. And you avoid it, right? When you do that, there's a little piece missing in here, right? Because you know you should have said something. You know you should have stuck up for yourself. You know you should have backed yourself up right there, gone back to the register and say, excuse me, can you check my receipt again? I think something's wrong. Okay? But when you don't face it, right? And it happens again and you don't take any action on it. It happens again. Subconscious, remember? It's beginning to be a habit, right? And then you do it again and again. Pretty soon you start holding it against yourself. You go, I knew I should have done that, but the heck with it, right? Okay? But inside you hold it against yourself. So when you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, okay? Thank you, I love you. You're apologizing to yourself and your higher power, whoever, whatever that is. Okay, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Now you're expressing gratitude for the forgiveness. And then you end it in love energy, in kindness, in compassion, in the best of all energies, in the highest of all vibrations, in love. And that's how Hawaiian Ho'oponopono works. It works in love and forgiveness. So I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Done. It's done. Now you have cleared. Now you can move on. Now there's no resentment attached. Now there's no bad feelings attached. Now there's no guilt attached. Now there's no worry attached. Nothing to worry about now. Okay, so you clear all of that. And when you clear all of that, you're good. Now you can move forward with a clear conscience. Okay, so that's what Hawaiian Ho'oponopono is. It's difficult to spell. Okay, it's not easy to spell. Ho'o, H-O-O, pono, P-O-N-O, P-O-N-O. That's how you spell it, if you want to look it up, okay? Dr. Ihaleakala Hugh Len is the pioneer in Ho'oponopono. You should look for his videos on YouTube. Okay, he used to work at the state hospital in Hawaii where they house the mentally insane, and he used to sit outside the door of these people's rooms, and he used to do, thank you, Jay, there it is, right there. Jay has it. So you guys can just cut and paste that, or copy and paste that, and put it in a browser, and look for Dr. Ihaleakala Hugh Len. He passed away already. He passed away a couple years ago. But he just used to sit outside their doors. They were criminally insane. He used to sit outside their doors and he used to do Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And they used to become well, or what we in Hawaiian call pono. Okay? So they reached a state of pono from a state of not being pono. Okay, so pono means when everything is well, when everything works the way it should, when things are in the state that it should be. Okay, that's pono. So it's 8 o'clock and Jay is saying see you tomorrow. So thank you, lady. Thank you, Costas. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. We're here and for those of you on the international feed, we're here for you every morning at 7 a.m. Okay, we've been doing this since April. We're gonna continue doing it every single morning, and even on holidays. Thank you, Wolf to Wolf Dog. Thank you very much. Thank you for the gift. Thank you, Darlene. Thank you for being here. Nice seeing you again. Costas, thank you. Thank you, guys. Love you guys. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Okay, and then also we're gonna say goodbye to our international feed. So